So back when I was about 14 years old, I went through a phase of wanting to go through and explore abandoned buildings. And my town had a couple that you could go in. Nobody really liked going there because they were just old and moldy and gross, but there's something about it that just always seemed thrilling, seemed cool to me to just like go somewhere you're not supposed to. But it's really cool because it almost looks like you time traveled or something, because you walk into a room and everything looks like it's from 1960 or something. It's really cool, but at the same time, very dangerous. And I saw a couple people in the comments requesting that I go back and tell you guys the story of the time that me and my friends found a meth lab. And this was probably in the coolest abandoned building that was in my town. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. But what I can do for you, I went on Google Maps and I went to exactly where it is. And unfortunately, it got demolished about a year or two ago, maybe like 3 years. It's been a minute. You can actually like change the date and go back to when it was up, so I can actually show you guys everything that I want to show you. It's not like there's an in-depth abandoned building tour on Google Maps, but at least I can give you guys a picture so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So this wasn't the first time we had gone into this abandoned building. I think this was probably the second time. First time I was scared. I wanted to get in and out because the way you had to get in was definitely not, it wasn't that bad, but it was just really sketchy. So you'd go around the back of the building, and I believe this was like an old tobacco processing facility. If I had to guess, that's probably what it was. You'd go in the back and there was kind of like, it almost looked like a gardening room, like almost like a greenhouse kind of section side of the wall. And what we did was we'd stack like pallets that were outside and just like kind of make like a ladder up on top of that. And then there was just like a plastic sheet above just like the slant in the roof. We just take like a stick or a knife or something and just slash a hole in it like we're Chunk from the Goonies, you know, going down the flag. And then we just hop in. And that was the scary part, because when you'd hopped in, you'd always have to like build something up to get back up. So there's always this time period of like, all right, if there's an animal, if there's someone in there, crazy drug addict gonna stab me or something, you know, you were stuck in there for a second. So I'd always make someone else go first, you know. Yeah, I mean, once you were in there, it was okay because you could just easily put anything in the room to just put it up against the hole so you could just go up. But either way, you know, we slash through that, we jump in. So the first floor, it really isn't that creepy. It's just kind of like, there's two sections of it. There's one that's kind of just like a dirt floor, I'm assuming where they used to dry tobacco, and the other side is just like, kind of just like a basement level of the building. There really isn't anything cool, but there was one tiny closet room. It looked like the janitor's room with one light bulb that was just on. I don't know, there wasn't electricity to anything else in the building that I knew of. There wasn't any other lights. There was just one light that was just on, and it was creepy as hell. It was like the janitor's closet. I haven't seen anybody in there, and the building is boarded up, so spooky. But like I said, that whole floor is kind of dark, so that's really the only, you know, cool part about it. There's nothing exciting about it. So you go up one flight of stairs. There's a cement staircase on the bottom to connect to the second floor. I wish there was a cement one the entire rest of the way. That's for a little bit further on in the story. We go up this cement staircase, and the second floor is pretty dope. I believe it's like cement, and then it kind of goes into this factory room, and then it goes on to the other parts of the building that I don't exactly remember, but the factory part is what's really, really cool. There was this giant conveyor belt that went around the room. Like, it would open up into this room, and there's this giant conveyor belt, and it went up. And I remember that we would climb on the conveyor belt. I can't imagine how many factory chemicals that are just chilling on there, all the dust and mold just chilling on there. And we just get it up. We just get it into the air with our feet and everything. I can't imagine. We used to walk up the conveyor belt to the next level of the building. That was like the only way we knew how to get up. And from there, that's where we used to skate around, because it was like really smooth cement on the third floor. And it was really chill because we could just watch cars go by, and like all the windows were just kind of like broken through. So there were just kind of holes in the wall. So there was nice ventilation up there. Still probably some factory dust up there. We probably don't want to. But on the third floor is where we found the meth lab. So let me get to that. I just really, really wish that I could go back and make a vlog with a conveyor belt and just like going up there and just skating up on the top. It was such a cool spot, man. Such a cool spot. So on the third floor, we went up there a couple different times just to skateboard because it was really cool. It was almost like a secret level in a Tony Hawk Underground game, like Secret Abandoned Factory, or the training level from Tony Hawk Underground 1, and I think Pro Skater 4. It was just a super, super flat, just room with like a bunch of shit in like the corners, but the majority of it was just super flat, and you could just see windows on both sides. I remember there was a couple times we had like found like fire extinguishers. We fucking blow them all over the place. Those are the days, man. But anyways, let's get to the part where you wanna hear about it. So on this 3rd floor, I remember there was this really shitty, almost destroyed wooden staircase. I don't know if it was like to go to the attic level. It was like the top level. I remember you had to go down this one hallway, and then you got to this wooden staircase that looked like, I don't know, it looked like a spooky staircase from Scooby-Doo, like the 1960s Scooby-Doo. It was like, why would you ever want to go up? Like, you look at it and you're like, I'm probably going to die if I go up there. It's like one of those vibes. So you go up the staircase and like you have to avoid holes in the stairs. And then right at the top, it's just completely caved in. Like if you want to go into the room that's at the top of the staircase, you got to go around the sides and like do all this crazy shit. Wasn't having any of it. You crept up the staircase. I was really curious as to what was up there. I crept up the staircase. And right at the end, right at the end of the room, it looked like a fucking room from Fallout 3. It was like the whole floor was completely sunken in, except the very sides of the walls. And on the very side of the wall, there was like a little bit that was still attached, and there was just a desk with all this like chemistry stuff on it. I couldn't tell exactly what, chemicals were chilling there because they looked really eroded, and it looked like it hadn't been touched for a long time. But there was some fucking huge beakers, dude. Like, what are you doing there? What are you making there, buddy? And someone else that was in the friend group that we were all with, it was like, yo, that's definitely a meth lab. Like, I don't know how he knew at that age. We were all like fucking 15, but he seemed pretty certain. He seemed pretty certain, dude. It didn't get any more secluded than that, and I had heard people say that some homeless dude lived in there, so maybe he was just reenacting Breaking Bad up in the attic of that abandoned factory. Like I said, I was not going in there. Okay, literally the floor was gone. Like, what do you want from me? Okay, there's actually a couple different things that happened in this building. I got a creepy vibe in it a couple times, but I never had anything like the stories that my friends told me about. My good friend Nate, I'm sure he won't care if I say his name in a video. He went in there with my other friends. I wasn't there this time. I'm kind of telling a story that my friend told me, so, But they went in there, I guess, to do some ghost hunting because they thought it was haunted or something. And apparently they were chilling upstairs with an audio recorder. And I guess they heard something super creepy. I'm gonna actually see if I can find this. Okay, I'm gonna actually hit them up and see if they have it. I doubt it. Okay, this was like it was probably almost 10 years ago. But either way, they said that they went in there because they thought it was haunted. They went in there with an audio recorder, like the Ghost Hunter TV shows. They went in there and they said they heard something creepy. And I don't know if my friend was just exaggerating to me or not. But he said that, like, he had, like, thoughts in his mind about someone hanging themselves. And they looked up some history of the building, and then they somehow found out later on that some kid hung themselves there when they were working at the factory, like, years ago. I don't know if any of that's true. But they said that they felt really scared when they had this thought in their minds, and they ended up running out of there as fast as they could, and it sounded like there was someone chasing them out. By the looks on their face when they told me the story, I could tell that they were telling the truth. Now, this sounds really, I don't know. Ghosts? Do you believe in ghosts? I don't know if I believe in ghosts. I've had a couple times where I really felt like there was something behind me as I was running out of one of these buildings. I felt that before. But at the same time, it's my mind, or it's maybe an animal or something. There's so many different things. So many different reasons to not do it, okay? Don't be going through abandoned buildings. Number one, asbestos, okay? Cancer. That's probably all, that's dangerous enough. Do I need to go on? You fall through the floor, bro. I really want to find some more abandoned buildings. They just fucking tear them down where I live, dude. They tear them down. I really want to find some because I've got one of the best low-light cameras in the game, so I could just see in the dark, essentially, with this camera. The only other memory I really have of this place, like, I've gone in there probably 5 or 6 times, but the really only other cool thing is they've got, like, this giant furnace room and just all this machinery from, like, 30, 40 years ago. It's like a relic of the past, man. It's something that, like, you'll never probably see again. And, like, I'll always remember these times, and also that if it was really a tobacco factory, I'm sure there's just a bunch of radiation all over the place, so, So, yeah, this wasn't much of, like, a real-life story. It was kind of just recollecting on one of the cool times where I explored an abandoned tobacco factory. I really think it was a tobacco factory because it kind of was set up that way. But either way, leave a like if you enjoyed. I really hope you did. Thank you to everybody who supports me on Patreon. I forgot to put the names on screen yesterday, but there they are, dude. Thank you very much for that, dude. It really does help out pay the bills with YouTube being trash, with YouTube ad rates. Come on, YouTube. What are you doing, bro? It's been a minute. It's been literally since 2016. Come on, get your shit together, dog. Follow my cat on Instagram and stay high, stay lifted, and stay snazzy. Peace.